thanks for watching Numbskull News. And today, we're talking NCAA tournament. We're going to look at the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. Kind of see how everything unfolded, especially because it's a Power 4 tournament. Sweet 16, Elite 8, all Power 4. Nobody else involved. Everybody else got beat. So, let's get on with it. Well, these were the matchups of the Sweet 16. All 8 matchups. So, I'm not going to give you a big rundown of every game, who scored the most points, yada, yada, yada. There's a plenty of other channels out there that'll cover this crap. I'm interested in seeing just what the teams did. Who moved on? So, Sweet 16. Who were the 8 teams that won and moved on? First off, Alabama versus BYU. Alabama kind of handled them up. Not going to lie. Kind of sucks. Good job, BYU, getting to where they got, but they didn't really get any further than the Sweet 16. Alabama moves on to the Elite 8. Then we had Maryland versus Florida. Florida being a 1 seed, and they acted like it. Maryland gone. And son of a bitch, right off the bat, 2 SEC teams survive. Arizona versus Duke. This was rough. But Arizona got showed the door. And freaking Duke survives again. Then we had Arkansas versus Texas Tech. Arkansas had a great tournament. They were the Cinderella. Unfortunately for her, the shoe blew a flat. Tech showed them the door. As it freaking should be. Tech got to the Elite 8. Ole Miss versus Michigan State. And Michigan State finally, I can't say finally, the second team to get an SEC school the hell out of here. You know, there were like, 500,000 SEC schools this year? Good Lord. Then you had Kentucky versus Tennessee. SEC versus SEC. Someone had to go home. And it was one of the Blue Bloods. Gone. Tennessee. Took care of business. Michigan versus Auburn. And like I said before with Florida, Auburn number 1 seed, they acted like it. They took care of business. Auburn, dangerous freaking squad, dude. Dangerous squad. Then finally, Purdue versus Houston. And Houston acting like one of the biggest brands in the world. And after the Elite 8, this is what it looks like, people. After the Elite 8, you still had 4 SEC schools: Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, and Auburn. Big 10 was down to 1, Michigan State. Big 12, still with 2, Texas Tech and Houston. And then the ACC, that lone wolf, still howling. So now let's line it up for the Elite 8 and go through it again. So here it is, folks. These were the matchups, the 4 matchups of the Elite 8. And it didn't disappoint. Florida versus Texas Tech. Tech put up a fight. But, Florida. Damn. Florida's a freaking tall order. They're a tall order this year. Alabama versus Duke. Alabama's been on the come up. They've been kicking ass, but they're screwing with a blue blood who's on top of their game. Duke is freaking nasty. Nasty. And they live Final 4. The ACC only had 4 teams in the tournament. Unfortunately for everybody, one of them is Duke. And the SEC. Were they going to get a second team with Tennessee against Houston? No. Houston They are ready. They are cooking. Final Four, baby. And then Auburn versus Michigan State. Where are we going to get all four of the Power Four make it to the Final Four? Auburn said no. Sparty gone and freaking Auburn. The 1 seeds prevail. This is what it looks like. This is the Final Four. Florida, Auburn, Houston, and Duke. And just in case you're wondering, it's not Florida versus Auburn, Houston versus Duke. No. No. It's the SEC versus the Big 12 versus the ACC. And the first little preamble of the Final Four. So, hold on to your nuts. It's going to get nuts. Well, I hope all of you is enjoying this wonderful Numbskull News content. I really hope you enjoy it. I work hard at it, kind of, sort of. But there's one thing missing. I still see that little red button down there. It says subscribe on it. So why don't you just put your finger out there and tap that hoe? Tap it one time. That's all I ask. Much appreciated. Thank you. Now, I know everyone's giving the SEC a lot of crap. Oh, you got 14 teams in and you sucked the first round. Yeah. But they got 2 teams into the Final Four. And don't give me, I'm sorry, I'm not an SEC fan here. I'm a Big 12 fan. But let's be honest. They had 2 teams. Top teams. Their top teams are unbelievably talented. They're really, really good. Can you make an argument maybe 3 or 4 of those teams maybe not get in? At least 2 of them. There's at least 2 of those 14 you're like, no. Same thing with North Carolina. I mean, the ACC didn't even deserve 4, but they got 4. But to get 2 teams into the tournament, to the Final Four, that's legit. It's legit. I don't care if they got 7 or 8 teams in and not 14. Those 2 teams are probably going. They're just that good. Auburn and Florida are amazing. But Houston and Duke are lethal. So this is going to be one hellacious tournament. One hellacious Final Four. And the Big Ten. 0 teams. They couldn't get through. They only had 1 in the Elite 8 round. And that one couldn't get it done. The Big Ten's got work to do. As much money as they make, they got work to do as far as tournament. The ACC's got even more work. All right. Realistically, they really only earned 3 spots. They were gifted a 4th spot. But, like I said, one of them is Duke. I mean, when they're on, they're on. Even though UNC didn't deserve to be there this year, again, when they're on, they're on. It wasn't that long ago they won a title. Okay, let's stop pretending that UNC. No, you got a couple down years, a couple of disappointing years. It happens. It happens to everybody. Where's Kansas at? First round out again? Yeah, the only Big 12 team to get knocked out of the first round. It happens. I hate to say it like that, but it does. So I don't care how big of a brand you are. I mean, did UConn sniff the Sweet 16? They did not. They did not. It was an all Power 4 Sweet 16, which is very rare, by the way. But out of the 4 conferences, the weakest one, Big 10. All right. The strongest, it is the SEC. Does that mean they win a title? I mean, they're in the Final Four. That says a lot. That says a lot. So I don't care what John Kurtz or anyone else wants to say. All right, you can piss and moan all you want. How many teams got into the tournament from the SEC? However, when two of those teams make it to the Final Four, that's not because you had a bunch of teams. That's not because of that. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this right now. I mean, you had to go through Florida. Sweet 16 had to go through Maryland. Then they had to go through Tech. That's not a given. That's not easy. Uh, Auburn had to go through Michigan State. I mean, Michigan State's a hell of a team. I don't have to tell anybody there that that's a hell of a team. Who else did Auburn go through? Let's see. I'll get to it eventually. They went through Michigan and Michigan State. So they went through the Big Ten like butter. Like a hot knife through butter. I'm not trying to hype them up. I'm just trying to give credit where credit is due. Like Duke. Duke deserves a hell of a lot of credit. Now, blue blood, all the shit. But they're showing it. They're showing everybody, reminding everybody that they're Duke. And the basketball, this ain't football season, partner. This is basketball. And they're doing what Duke does. Houston, let's go. I'm a Big 12 fan. Let's go. It's not going to be easy. It's not. This is going to be nasty as shit. But come on. Let's go, Cougars. Let's knock this crap out of the park anyway. Thanks for watching this crap. And I will be back with some more crap later. Bye.